Salute, and welcome to another episode of The Inner D. And for this episode, I kind of wanted to um, do a reading of another one of my stories that I've written. I titled it Wicked. And so the prologue, I titled that Irresponsible. It always rains during moving week. Dany Kenway stood in the middle of the campus quad at the University of Macon, watching raindrops race down the lens of his fogged-up glasses. Around him, freshmen with matching lanyards buzzed like bees, laughing, hugging, and posting. Dany wasn't one of them. He had slipped through orientation unnoticed, snagged a work-study job cleaning the Macon Science Annex, and moved into the smallest dorm on the edge of campus. His roommate, Jimmy Penn, was already filming TikToks, shirtless and talking about influencer potential. Dany kept to himself, stuffing binders and books into his side of the room. At the bottom of his duffel bag, he slid a worn leather journal under the bed, scribbled across the cover in fading ink, "Psych experiments." Danny wasn't stupid. He was sharp, observant, and resentful of people like Jamie, of campus leaders, of life itself. Most of all, he was obsessed with Melina Moreno. She was everything he wasn't: outspoken, respected, genuinely kind. She remembered names. She made people feel seen. Dany was built to disappear. That night, during his janitor shift, Dany wandered into the lab wing of the Macon Science Annex, bored and searching for snacks. His mop clacked at the linoleum as he passed a door left ajar. Voices arguing inside. Two scientists, mid-30s, wearing matching frowns, were packing equipment into crates. "We're shutting it down," one snapped. DARPA pulled the plug. "Budget's gone." "They can't just abandon Prism," the other argued. "It's viable tech." Danny crouched by the door, eyes narrowing. After the scientists stormed off, Danny crept in. Inside the lab, glass cases, disassembled machines, and a bulky prototype suit laying in pieces. He approached a small control panel, still humming softly. Taped to it was a faded card, PRISM, which stood for Prototype Reduction Infiltration Surveillance Mechanism. Beneath it, scribbled notes: neural sync, neural sync issues, battery unstable, shrieking success limited. It didn't even think of saving the world or a scientific discovery. He thought about how to steal it. Pocketing the interface chip, no bigger than a thumb drive, he smirked. Chapter 1: Narcissistic. 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 Duct tape, a stolen Raspberry Pi, a couple of fried wires. Back in his dorm room, Jamie filmed yet another dance video. Dany soldered together the chip and slid it into a makeshift controller. The prototype suit hummed to life, lights flickering erratically. Dany stepped into it hesitantly and hit the activation button. Instantly the room expanded around him. He shrunk, stumbling into a crusty pizza box. A cockroach scattered by, nearly trampling him. He screamed, but no one heard. Jamie was too busy filming to notice. Hours passed before Danny figured out how to grow back. The next few days were chaos. He shrunk into vending machines, got trapped in Jamie's gym sock drawer. But once he mastered the controls, Danny realized something. He was free. Free to skip class, free to steal answers, free to finally matter. He broke into the registrar's office, snagged test answer keys, and aced exams without studying. He raided student government closets, pocketing gift cards, and selling them online. Most night he crept into dorms, watching people, especially Melina. He knew her schedule, knew her friends, knew how she hummed under her breath while studying. He told himself it was love. It wasn't. It was control. He watched her from the shadows, thinking, "I'm the only one who truly sees her. I'm not the creep. I'm attentive." Chapter 2: Selfish. Danny petty thefts evolved into full-blown schemes. He framed Melina's friend Deshaun for cheating by slipping stolen test answers into his bag. Deshaun was suspended. Danny was there to comfort Melina, feigning outrage. You deserve you deserve better people around you, Danny told her, eyes filled with artificial sympathy. People who care. But she pulled away. Something about his presence unsettled her. Meanwhile, campus security was on edge. Someone dubbed the Macon Phantom was breaking into offices, emptying vending machines and leaking minor emails. Students laughed it off. One didn't. They, Jace. A student journalist with a chip on his shoulder and a passion for the truth. Zay launched an investigation. He tracked breaking times and cross-referenced class schedules and noticed something odd. Danny was always nearby. Danny noticed back. In retaliation, Zay broke into Zay's dorm and deleted his files and left a live cockroach in his cereal. He began stalking Julian, whispering into his recorded devices at night. Keep, keep digging, Jace. See where it gets you. Melina confronted Danny not long after. You're always around. You're always around. You stare. You feel wrong. I just care. Danny lied. No one looks after. No one looks out for you like the way I do. She walked away. He shrank that night and hid in her dorm, watching her sleep, watching her undress, hating himself and yet unable to stop. Chapter 3. Evasive. Zay, undeterred, pieced it all together and went public during the university's ethics forum, an event Melina chaired. Danny, however, hacked the live stream and delivered a monologue. You praise your heroes, but I've seen what you hide. You all wear masks. I just took mine off. You want the truth? You can't handle it. He exposed the dean's salary, football team's grade inflation, even Melina's private mental health notes. Gasps, screams. Then Zay appeared on stage, dropping the final bomb. Dany Kenway is the Macon Phantom. Danny tried to shrink and flee. The suit glitched. The audience saw him, half size, stammering, running into a chair. Security chased him. He barely escaped, retreating to the abandoned science annex, bleeding and broken. Melina found him there, days later. You ruined people's lives, she said, trembling. I I just wanted to matter, Danny replied, eyes hollow. She left him there, disgusted. Chapter 4. Cowardly. Danny Kenway became a ghost, not in the way he imagined, celebrated, feared, or even respected, but truly forgotten, mocked, and hunted. His name trended on campus forums for a week, paired with blurry screenshots and memes. Hashtag Phantom Kenway, hashtag Shrunk and Fled. And bro really tried to become Ant-Man and failed. He holed up in the abandoned science annex, surrounded by empty snack wrappers and the gutter remains of the prison tech. The suit barely functioned now. Battery shot, cloaking unreliable, neural sync painful. He attempted a full recharge by hot wiring a campus power line and nearly electrocuted himself. He wasn't right. With the sleeping, his journal set open, filled with deranged sketches of gears, broken clocks, and scrabbled phrases. They'll thank me one day. Melina equals the only one who ever saw me. Truth is infection, and I'm the carrier. He watched from afar as the university reeled from the chaos he unleashed. The ex, the ethics forum video, the ethics forum video had gone viral. Millions of views, student protests, administrative resignations, and legal threats. But it wasn't enough. They were already spinning it. PR statements framed Dany as a disturbed student, acting alone, blaming mental illness, privacy breaches, and unauthorized tech use. They sanitized the damage. Furious, Danny began Operation Truth Bomb, his final masterpiece. From the heart of the science annex, he hacked into the university's central server. He compiled everything: secret surveillance camera footage of dorms and hallways, leaked board meeting transcripts admitting to budget fraud, counseling center records showing how many students they quietly expelled instead of helping, police reports filed, then buried about certain faculty members. Melina, meanwhile, was caught in the fallout. Students looked to her for leadership, for answers, for comfort. She delivered. She helped organize reform efforts, offered support groups, and even comforted board members in public. But behind closed doors, she cried alone, shaken by betrayal. One evening, she received an anonymous message with coordinates. Out of sheer dread, or maybe even hope, she followed them. She found Dany sitting on the floor of the science annex, cross-legged, the prism suit around him like a shattered carapace. His face pale, hollowed, with subtle and eyes red from lack of. His face was pale, hollowed, with stubble and eyes red from lack of sleep. "You shouldn't be here," he said quietly. "I had to see for myself," Lena replied. What's left of you?" He chuckled. "You mean, what's left of us? Because this, you and me, it was always us." Her jaw tightened. "There was never an us. Just you, watching me like a parasite. I watched because I cared." "No, you watched because you couldn't connect, and now you dragged us all down with you." Danny looked at her like she was the only thing in the world. "You'll see. When the truth comes out, you'll see why I had to do all this." She didn't respond. She left without looking back. Chapter 5: Treacherous. The truth bomb detonated digitally. Overnight, the university's entire server system was flooded. Students woke to an inbox filled with explosive revelations. Local news outlets ran nonstop coverage. Parents called in panic. Lawsuits piled up. Alumni pulled donations. Danny's final message echoed across every screen, every speaker on campus. "They build empires of lies and ask you to smile. I smile too long. I shrank myself to nothing for them, and now I've given you everything. No mask, no heroes, just the infection. I hope you choke on the truth." And with that, Danny Kenway disappeared that night. Some say he jumped the river. He jumped into the river. Others claim they saw him hitchhiking barefoot toward the mountains. Police campus searched but found nothing, just the empty science annex and the shattered remains of the prism gear. The university collapsed under its own weight. Enrollment dropped, faculty quit, the president resigned. For months, the campus was a ghost town of whispers and fear. Melina stood at the center of it all. Broken friendships, ruined futures. The weight of it all suffocated her. Yet, strangely, a part of her understood. Dany hadn't just wanted revenge. He wanted to matter. To burn himself into the story of the school, the world, even if it meant self-immolation. She wasn't sure whether to mourn him or to curse his name. Epilogue. One crisp December morning, Melina opened her campus mailbox. Inside sat a brown package with no return address. Her fingers trembled as she opened it. Inside lay the prism chip, wrapped in black cloth, and a note scrawled in ink she recognized immediately. "You want to change the system." "I did. Now it's your turn. The suit still works. Barely. You might fix it, You might not. Either way, someone's got to get their hands dirty. Still watching. DK. She stared at the chip for a long time and then walked outside. The quad was quiet now. No banners. There wasn't students. Just her and the suit. She slipped the chip into her pocket, eyes narrowing, a small, knowing smile on her face. Maybe she destroy it. Maybe she use it. Either way, she had the power now, and Danny Kenway was truly gone. And with that, that concludes another episode of The Energy, and I will see you all on the next episode.